This is the Eastern Idaho Weather Hazard Briefing for Thursday, October 23rd. Key points to go through is that we're still expecting dry weather through Friday, but we are seeing the big system we've been advertising. That's still on track to arrive for the weekend. We do think that's going to come in two waves, with one wave arriving on Saturday, and then we expect a little bit of a brief break in there sometime on Sunday, depending exactly on where you're at. And then we expect another wave to move through Sunday night and into Monday. So we're still looking at heavy snow accumulations possible, especially across the Central Mountains and mainly above 6,000 feet. And there are some minor accumulations possible for the Eastern Highlands and Southern Highlands, and possibly some rain-snow mix and maybe some light accumulation into the Snake Plain, especially Sunday into Monday. So the weather risk outlook, you're seeing mainly impacts in the Sawtooth area over the weekend, with heavy snow looking more and more likely. Like I said, there could be a little bit of a break in there Sunday where the impacts maybe aren't too terribly bad. And then mainly looking at minor impacts in the Wood River area, because we think most of the snow is probably going to occur north of Ketchum. Still dealing with a little bit with the snow levels. Tricky forecast, but we're thinking it's probably going to be mainly affecting Galena Summit and in the mountains around Ketchum and Sun Valley. So this is looking at our satellite image for this morning, and you see some clouds across eastern Idaho, and those clouds will be drifting off to the east this morning, leaving us with mostly clear skies for the afternoon. High temperatures today generally in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Looking at fairly light winds today, maybe a few gusts up to 15, maybe 20 miles per hour in some parts. And then humidity levels today, with the added cloud cover around, a little bit higher across eastern Idaho, and some drier air out across the central mountains. As we go into tonight, temperatures expected to fall back into the 30s area-wide once again. High temperatures for tomorrow generally expected to be in the 60s across most of the region. And then highest wind gusts tomorrow, looking like it's going to be a fairly light day for most of us. Gust wind gusts 15 to 20 miles per hour. Lowest humidity tomorrow, once again, in the 20s to 30s for most of the area. Low temperatures for tomorrow night expected to be slightly warmer as cloud cover starts moving into the region, generally in the 30s to low 40s. As we move into Saturday, looking at high temperatures, generally right around 60 still. Most of the area, most of East Idaho, will be sitting right out ahead of where the main band of rain and snow will be moving in. And here's looking at your chances of precipitation for Saturday. Once again, best chances of precipitation are mainly up in the central mountains. And by the time we see precipitation Saturday, it'll probably be late in the afternoon or even Saturday evening by the time it works its way into eastern Idaho. Precipitation amounts for Saturday up in the central mountains. Some places could get quarter to half an inch alone on Saturday. Not so much in southern Idaho or eastern Idaho. And then our expected snowfall Saturday, once again, main impacts. This initial round will be very warm on Saturday. So initial impacts will probably be up on Galena Summit, where we could see 2 to 3 inches of snow. Highest wind gusts Saturday generally expected to be in the 20s in most areas. If you get up in the Montana, the winds could be a little bit stronger up that way. As we go into Saturday afternoon for humidities, as you might expect with all the rain and snow around, highest humidities will be found up in the central mountains. East Idaho generally looking at humidities in the 30s and 40s. And then the low temperatures going into Saturday night, generally in the 30s across much of the area. Rather chilly up in the central mountains, temperatures in the teens and low 20s up that way. Chances of precipitation, you see, that's when we start seeing the big surge of moisture move all the way across the area. High chances of precipitation Saturday night. Rainfall amounts Saturday night aren't overly impressive, generally fairly light. Precipitation in the Snake Plain, Magic Valley. But over in the eastern highlands, 1/10 to quarter of an inch is possible. And you see that big lull of action starting to work its way in the central mountains, with the precip amounts tapering off just a little bit. In terms of snowfall amounts, though, 1 to 2 inches looking pretty likely up in Stanley, 3 to 4 up in Galena Summit. and the Sawtooth areas could see much higher snowfall amounts Saturday night, especially during the evening hours. And we do see a little bit of light snow starting to work its way into eastern Idaho as well, mainly pretty high, generally up above 7,000 feet. So we're still working out our details for Sunday and the end details there, so we're not showing you a whole lot of information here, but we did want to leave you with an overarching picture of what we could see for snowfall and rainfall throughout the entire weekend, going through Monday as well. And by the time it's all said and done, we could see 6 to 8 inches up in Stanley, maybe a foot or more up on Galena Summit and the mountains around Ketchum. And Haley, Ketchum as a whole, generally 1 to 3 or so. But over in the eastern Idaho region, best snow amounts will be up above 6,500, 7,000 feet, where we could see maybe more than 4 inches of snow. But down in the valleys, probably pretty minor amounts, but there will probably be some snow in the eastern highland communities as well. And then in the Snake Plain, probably looking at more of a mix of rain and snow, especially during the day on Sunday and Sunday night. But there could be some light accumulations late Sunday night, early Monday morning for the Rexburg area, and maybe down towards Idaho Falls possibly. Once again, we're still trying to figure out exactly all the details and the timing with this system, so we're trying not to give away too much because frankly we have a lot of uncertainty still. So the details are starting to come together. We're still starting to figure it out. Please stay tuned here, and hopefully we'll have a little bit better information, some more confidence for you as we move towards the weekend. So just to recap, oh, by the way, I forgot, here's the expected precipitation through the weekend. Generally looking at about 1/4 of an inch or so in the Magic Valley and Snake Plain, and then about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch for eastern Idaho for the highlands, and then an inch or more possible in some of those mountainous areas up in the central mountains. So just to summarize, dry weather expected through Friday, and we are looking at that big system arriving for the weekend with heavy snow possible above 6,000 feet for the central mountains, much lighter accumulations likely for eastern Idaho, but we are looking for accumulations and maybe some light accumulations Sunday night into Monday for the upper Snake Plain, so stay tuned on that. So that concludes this morning's briefing, and if you have any questions or comments, please let us know. Thank you, and have a good day.